The competitive nature inside each of us drives us to want to perform better, faster, and stronger than our peers and opponents. To conquer and to come out on top, above all the rest, completely by yourself, is an innate behavior and only natural. This is a perversion in our culture, and it needs to stop. This is Hell Let Loose. The mechanistic approach.
Oh, right behind you, brain. Got him.
On it.
Oh, right by me. Turn. Coming right here, guys. Sir.
This is a reflection of our culture.
Yeah, they're pulling up. We're the only assaulting squad right now. Oh, right here. Yep. Got him. Good. Ah, shit, break. Hold on.
Right out the 224.
At the turn of the century in 2003, a new IP in the PC video game market emerged, titled Call of Duty. Infinity Ward, which consisted mainly of members who were behind the development of Medal of Honor Allied Assault, set out to make something different and new. Infinity Ward recognized that the first-person shooter genre mainly set the player up to be a lone wolf, a super soldier. During development of Call of Duty, the game was codenamed Medal of Honor Killer. The artificial intelligence that the team was focusing on developing for this game was borderline revolutionary at the time. The AI was able to suppress, take cover, clear obstacles, flank, and move from cover to cover. The decision to build the AI in this manner was to make each replay of the missions dynamic. The gameplay was designed to move away from the super soldier approach and focus more on teamwork. Battles are not won by one man, but by many. This is reflected by the game's slogan and saying on the back of the original box itself. In war, no one fights alone. This is further elevated and focused on right off the bat from loading up the game. The entire opening film in Call of Duty showcases teamwork, cooperation, and overcoming obstacles together. Sayings and words are artistically put up on the screen in front of the viewer to let them know you are not a lone soldier. You are part of a unit. You help make up a whole. This goes even further with the boot camp tutorial mission, where there is literally a sign you have to look at in order to complete the tutorial that says, "Move together as a team." Fast forward to 2010, Call of Duty Black Ops hits the shelves with a new slogan: "There's a soldier in all of us." What? Why? This begs the question, what the hell happened? Going back in time, Call of Duty Modern Warfare was released in 2007. Infinity Ward set out again to revolutionize the FPS genre regarding the multiplayer. They wanted the players to be rewarded, which would encourage the improvement of players' skills. An early development, and this may sound familiar, was to have the players fight over specialized zones to access support via radar, airstrike, and helicopter. This idea was scrapped because it discouraged the deathmatch feel Infinity Ward wanted. Kill streaks were introduced in its place, which reinforced players' behavior to work alone, for they were rewarded for their kill-death ratio. The game also featured a leveling up and perk system, which made the game have a light RPG element to it. This is not the first time something like this was implemented. If you go back even further to Call of Duty United Offensive, developed by Grey Matter Interactive, which merged into Treyarch, it does indeed, in its primitive form, have a rank system. From what I remember playing back in the day, and what I can gather from reading about it, the rank system was not persistent, meaning it would reset each match. This game was more based on teamwork. You were rewarded for completing objectives via extra ammo, smoke grenades, binoculars, and artillery strikes. Fast forward to 2020, and now Call of Duty Warzone is out, which Infinity Ward followed the modern battle royale trend where it pits you up against everyone in a spastic, unorganized, selfish-driven lunacy gameplay that teaches you only to look out for yourself, to come out on top above all the rest, for you are the best. It has absolutely nothing to do with teamwork, and that was the original point of Call of Duty!
The word competition is derived from the Latin competere, meaning seek together, to coincide, to agree. Opponents are viewed as co-creators of an experience, and competition as a process of striving with, not against others. Unfortunately, I think that the true meaning of competition has been lost, and this needs to be reaffirmed if we are to move on together in this initiative. In its purest form, competition is a shared experience that would not work if we did not agree to work together. Educating or re-educating all stakeholders as to the real meaning of competition would, I believe, go a long way in promoting a positive game environment.
Call of Duty lost its way. It has taken a 180 turn and went right back to the super soldier approach it originally was designed to be without. In the mid-1900s, an American behaviorist and psychologist studied reward systems and its effects on behavior using pigeons. B.F. Skinner was able to teach pigeons to read, twirl, and behave in unusual ways by simply rewarding the pigeons with food when a desirable behavior was performed. This is called operant conditioning, and this is the same exact approach developers take with the media we consume, be it a like on social media, a comment, gaining levels, and getting a power-up based on how many kills we get in a row without dying. Hell Let Loose is the game that I thought Call of Duty was going to become. I have always been an advocate for teamwork and cooperation, and I used to feel that Infinity Ward cheated their early fanbase out of a false promise. Later in life, I realized the developers themselves are also victims of culture. We live in an environment where we are taught that aggressive, ruthless, dog-eat-dog competition is natural. How can we expect to behave considerate and cooperate with each other when we are rewarded when we act ruthlessly aggressive to one another? I am not saying competition is bad or wrong. I am saying the complete opposite. I am, however, stating that this mentality in our culture is dangerous to our behavior and progress.
There's a meta level of cooperation, which is that everybody's trying to improve their skills simultaneously. And so that serves a higher order good. And everyone's trying to learn how to be a good player so that they can play many games. It's like, well, we shouldn't play competitive games. It's like, you must have been educated at OISE. Sad. It's very sad.
You can see it clear as day when a new player from Call of Duty or Battlefield joins and becomes excited about an arbitrary kill-death ratio. They fix their value and worth to killing. They are not considering the events and conditions that took place for them to land that kill in the first place. They only see their results and only place value on their results. We have to keep in mind, these habits are not entirely their fault. they have been conditioned over the years to behave that way. That person comes in looking for that artificial reward and goes about achieving it the only way they know how. It's upsetting. Not that person has a hard time grasping the value of teamwork, but the background they come from created this behavior and value system in them. Their patterns of behavior works in the fixed environment they come from, but it does not translate over to Hell Let Loose, which is a cooperative competition.
I forgot to ask, is this like a free weekend or something?
We did really well as a squad.
I don't think so.
It's just the game is constantly on sale, so
yeah.
It's good that new people are coming in, but they come in from games that don't practice teamwork, so we're struggling here.
Yeah, there's a learning curve. I saw one guy come in and he was talking about how this is not
look at
as
this
intense as Call of Duty. I'm like, oh god.
Right.
But it is if you like chess.
Yeah.
Well, not even if you like chess. If you just like paying attention to what's going on around you.
Stupid.
And not just running in and dying.
Exactly. It's not about kills, it's about taking the points.
We're good, we're sexy, we got the tools,
Clearing OPs, clearing.
Boone and Joan, what the frig are you guys even talking about over Discord? I'm trying to make a film here and I don't even know if the point is even going to get across now. I can simply sit on artillery and rank up the kills in a shorter amount of time if I cared only about my personal kill-death ratio. Though, I would rather work with squad leaders and the commander to orchestrate coordinated arty to not only hinder the enemy, but to wipe out their infrastructure and keep them back. When artillery is being effective, pesky recon sure loves to make a trip out to you to make sure you are off those guns. This is a great indicator that you are doing real harm to the enemy. Recon must understand that when they are tasked with keeping the enemy off artillery, the better practice is to work together with one another to make sure the arty crew does not have a chance to fire again.
You get you.
Recon is down, recon is down.
Man down! I see him, he's right here. He's dead. God, they're so bad. It's like shooting mannequins. It's just,
It really is. They're like prone.
it's
They like know what to do, but they don't know how to do it.
yeah, it's weird. It's like they know what to do, but they have like 5-second latency or something.
Yeah.
Like what?
It's like, dude, come on. We're
It's
sitting
so
ducks.
weird.
I think because they keep trying to get too close and they're like moving. I wish I could talk to them just to help them. Like, just be like, look, you're doing all right. Well, yeah, I mean, like I want them to improve, but it's just funny.
It is really funny.
Some servers frown upon camping artillery, but in return, as of U7, if you don't, arty in itself becomes cheap, for you cannot destroy the guns. Recon, plan your attack to pin the arty crews down. Do not run in their guns blazing. Stay hidden. You are a spotter and a sniper. Set yourselves up so the sniper takes the shot and the spotter calls out who to shoot and when.
Alright. This is the worst recon team in the game.
Yep.
Black Fox is like, yep.
I'm gonna have to go to the front line to play some garrisons. Keep up the good work.
Yep, thank you.
This is a great example of teamwork and lack thereof. By reading the behavior of that recon team, it was easy to tell they were sent out there by orders, but they had no idea how to go about being effective together. On our side, due to the information from the team being fed to Boone and down to myself, we were able to coordinate artillery to a point where Boone was being offensive and I was tasked with using it as a shield for the defense sector. The whole team was in sync and understood the importance of keeping arty active. From a recon unit coming to help to the commander himself aiding us in clearing out the pesky recon. Boone and I were doing nothing special. We were reading the map and arriving at where the arty should be dropped based on proper information from the team. Boone and I do not work against each other. We work in tandem, for we know that we complement each other.
Yo, that was so good. I think it was the RD. I'm just gonna say it.
That was great. Nice job.
This idea in our culture to be the best and to come out on top, regardless of others, is a perversion derived from a distorted competitive environment. The only real example and explanation for such gross social behavior in that perverted viewpoint of competition is caused by one factor and one factor alone: scarcity. In the 1940s, a psychologist by the name of Orville Hobart Maurer conducted a social experiment with 3 rats. The rats he chose came from an abundant economy where all their biological needs were met. He placed these rats in an environment together where they would only have 1 pellet a day between the 3. As the days passed by, the rats over time became hungrier due to the lack of necessity and started to ruthlessly fight one another over the scarce resource until one came out as the victor, the dominant one. This right here, even though at first it may appear natural, is still not natural or innate behavior. This experiment is indeed simple, and some may even say cruel, but it shows the effect the environment has on behavior over periods of exposure. The first day of this experiment, the rats did indeed compete for the single pellet of food, but they did not fight. It wasn't until over time that the absence of their biological needs being met that their aggression ramped up. When discussing behavior in all beings, the sayings in terms such as "it's in their nature," or regarding you and I with the outdated saying "it's human nature," are nothing sayings. There is no insight given how that behavior occurred. Those sayings are simply stating, "I do not know what caused that behavior," though sadly, we do not see it that way. We see it as a result that cannot be altered. In psychology, there is an insight called reductionism. This practice is an attempt to explain the inner workings of all things, including social phenomenon, by breaking the complexity down to its most simple. Through this view, all behaviors can be accounted for and understood comparably to that of machinery, that no behavior stands on its own and must be activated by some interdependent force.
People have a name for things. If they see a child draw pretty pictures right away, they think the child is gifted. Because that means I haven't the slightest idea how a 6-year-old can draw a profile of a human being that looks so accurate. That's what they're saying when they say he's gifted. I have no idea of how that occurs. When a fish migrates thousands of miles to the spawning grounds, without mother fish opening up a map of the world, showing the fish how to get to the spawning grounds, they invented a word for that, instinct. It means I haven't the slightest idea of how these fish do that. Instinct is a dead word. Noise tells us nothing. But a word that says, I'm going to try to find out how it is that fish can do that. So they study the magnetic currents under the Gulf Stream, which the fish follow. Once you begin to know that birds can follow Earth's magnetic currents, because if you strap a small magnet to a bird's head, he doesn't migrate, becomes confused. So it was called years ago a mechanistic point of view, and people hated that word. Mechanistic? I'm not a machine. I'm flesh and blood. I'm a thinking, feeling. They love that, and they moved away from the mechanistic point of view, which hurt society no end. All that it says is, look, you can't roll your eyes to the right unless there's a muscle and the nerve cells that feed that muscle. You can't twist your arm unless muscles run in that direction. That's all that a mechanistic point of view stated, that nothing is self-activating. That's the most difficult thing for people to grasp.
Through this application, we can begin to understand each individual role's value. You are a member that is part of a unit which helps make up the entire force. In order to build garrisons, you need supplies. To get supplies, you need support. Artillery, vehicles, and command need resources. To get these resources, you need supplies for the engineer to build nodes. AT guns needs supplies and munitions.
The guy was on his binoculars and I shot him. Oh, he's still alive. Wow. Oh. There he goes.
Everyone is linked. Your actions either directly or indirectly affect the whole. The contrast to reductionism is holism. This view sees the individual parts as intimate interconnections and cannot function by themselves, independent of each other. These two schools of thought can be applied and witnessed in team-based settings. When the whole group is in tandem and in sync, the body of the participants begin to behave as one. When a vital part of that group hinders, stumbles, or goes out for themselves, the social body begins to collapse.
Oh, you're Hold on!
But I fucking died.
Come on!
I was in one.
Oh my god, dude.
Teamwork will always outdo what the individual can do, for not one individual can do everything. Keep together and stay focused on the common goal. When moving to an enemy position, hold yourself to discipline, for it is better to wait for someone to head out with you than going in by yourself, for you do not know what's around the corner.
Oh, he's right there. Holy crap, mother effer.
By the way, friend, we've got a repair station for you on the field if you want to get repairs.
Look at that.
Got him. Let's go.
Good work.
The garrison is right there.
Yeah, it's on my move marker.
Look at that assault. No! Oh my god! Throw a grenade or something.
It's too late.
Oh, the garrison's down!
Oh my god. Did you get it?
Yeah. Competition is a powerful exercise to practice. The goal is not to humiliate the opposing team, but to raise each other up to a higher standard of performance. Once we do away with the gross misconduct that our environment has conditioned us to behave as, we will then be able to see each other not as a threat, but as cooperative opponents for the common good regarding improvement. Hell Let Loose is a digital team-based exercise. When new players come in, we must do what we can to help them understand the value of teamwork, not only for the longevity and health of the game, but to also do away with the outdated, distorted values of competition we have been subject to for years.
Oof.
Are we defending?
Yes.
Keep your head down. Firing over you.
Which direction are they coming in from?
Okay, looks like we have, they're coming in from, the northeast side, west side of, northwest. Let's protect the south side. Nobody's holding it. They're gonna build a garrison, so let's head to my move. They were flanking from that side before, so let's go check it out.
When we re-educate ourselves and provide tangible reward systems for team-focused behavior, the reconditioning can begin to take place and eradicate the ego-driven, artificial kill-death ratio value system.
Yeah, got him lead too. Pushing us.
This is the definition of competition.
So layers.
Now.
Yeah, I'll bring more ammo. Or supplies. Unless you got it.
Yeah, this is a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. But we're doing good. We're fighting back.
Oh my god. So cancerous.
Yeah,
He was leaving our spawn.
We got.
I got the guy throwing grenades at us.
Command, be advised, Golf Squad is currently combating
I mean,
standing
we're
by.
tip of the spear right now. This is literally the front line.
Yep.
Nobody helping the tank out? You got an engineer? Oh, you got him. Yeah, okay.
It's dying. Alright, enemy, good.
Might ping one guy.
He got a grenade in the freaking window somehow.
Oh, that's so funny.
Dude, this is nuts.
Nice.
This is probably one of the most intense fights I've played since I started playing this game.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Boone and I do not work against each other. We work in tandem, for we know... what do we know, bro? Oops. We work in tandem, for we know teamwork is... What? Boone and I do not work against each other. We work in tandem, for we know teamwork... See, I didn't write it correctly. The environment has on behavior over... Okay, here we go. It is better to wait for someone to head out with you than going in by yourself. Damn! God! In psychology, there is an insight called reductionism. That's my stomach. Getting hungry. If you go back even further to Call of Duty United Offensive, developed... Damn. Bro. Once we do away with the gross misconduct that our environment has conditioned us to behave as... Had an itch. That started out good, too. In war, no one fights alone. Ah!